If you're a developer and you use a calculator to do math while you're coding, stop doing that. Instead, just put your math expression right into VS Code, highlight it, and from the command palette, select Emit, evaluate math expression. It's built right into VS Code.
I found my college laptop from 10 years ago. Let's see if I can still code on it. There wasn't even a battery in it, so I had to plug it in. I haven't turned this on in 6 years, so I was excited when I got some promising boot screens. Now I needed to try to remember my password and couldn't. It was at this point that I realized how disgusting the screen was, but somehow I remembered the backdoor password. Once it was booted, I connected to Wi-Fi and tried to load GitHub, but couldn't connect because apparently my computer time was still set to May 20th, 2013, which is when I got this laptop. So I had to manually synchronize with the Windows time clock. Now that I could reach GitHub, it wasn't really loading, so I figured I probably needed to update Chrome. I was at version 58. After updating, I went to version 109, and that's not even the latest because I'm still on Windows 7. Anyways, now that GitHub looked great, I decided to just use Codespaces since I can stay in the browser to run my code. So I went to create a new Codespace and selected my most recent repo, and it started creating it pretty quickly. It took a couple of minutes to load, then I tried to run it, and it worked. Once I got my browser updated, I was able to start coding in just a couple minutes.
One super annoying thing about HTML is that sometimes you want to get all of a div, like this div, but it's really big. And so you scroll down, you scroll down, you scroll down, you scroll down, and you're like, which one of these closing tags is it? You can't remember, so you have to scroll back up. It's a real pain. There's an easier way to do this. There is a command in VS Code called balance outward. So if you look for balance outward, that will select the entire thing for you. So that's the whole div. You don't have to go hunting for that last tag there. Now I like to take this a step further and go to my keyboard mappings and do the balance outward command and bind that to Control-Alt-B. And then there's a balance inward, which does the opposite. It goes the other direction, which I bind to Control-Alt-V because they're next to each other on the keyboard. And then I can just Control-Alt-B and go out as much as I need to, and then V takes me back in. And of course up here, if I want this whole thing, just Control-Alt-B. That's it. There's this nightmare story on r/programming horror about someone who had a bug in their code and it ended up being a zero width space character that they could not see. And I thought, can that be true? So I Googled it, and yes, there is a zero width Unicode character. So here's what this looks like in the editor. Right here, this looks like code that should run, but it doesn't because there is an unexpected token. There's a zero width Unicode character somewhere in here, but you can't see it. But we just shipped a feature that enables you to do Unicode highlighting for invisible characters. So if we go back now, you can see it's highlighted. And if we mouse over, it actually says, hey, this character is invisible. So we could just drop in here and then actually remove that invisible character. And now this code works so that you don't end up making posts on r/programming horror.
Wrote a program to check if a number is even or odd.
But what if you ever actually had to write this program where you literally checked every number up to 10,000? So the easiest way to do this is probably to have this program write itself. So let's use a while loop and just increment up to 10,000. And for every number, we're just gonna print out and check to see if that number is equal to the current value of num, which is always gonna be incremented. And below that, we'll actually check for even or odd using the modulus operator, which so if we divide by 2 and the remainder is 0, then we know it's even, otherwise it's odd, and then we'll increment the num variable. Now if we run this in the terminal, it does work, but we only get the last 100 or so results. It's because we need to set the scroll back property in VS Code to get the last, let's say 25,000 lines. Run this again, and now we can use the command or control up or down arrows in the terminal to just get everything between the last two commands. We'll copy that into the editor, and then we'll change just the first line here to make this an if instead of an elif, and we're done.